right. So tell us a little bit about yourself so the teas get a little bit of an insight into your world.
Yeah, so I'm Natalie Minerva. I've been a nail artist for the last 12 years, based in Los Angeles. Originally, I'm from Orange County and I moved up here in 2009. Before nails, I worked in nightlife. So I worked at this
Mm,
really popular party, a club called Rhonda here in LA. It still goes on today. And that was sort of like my humble beginnings of nails because a lot of like industry folks would go. So,
mm,
hairstylists, makeup artists, fashion stylists. And I would do my nails because the whole thing there was like to turn a look, it was like to like
mm,
really like just showcase your personality and be eccentric, right?
mm.
So I would do my nails because it would coordinate with my outfit. And at the time, like I wanted to get my nails done at like a Japanese gel salon, but I was in college, so I didn't have like necessarily the money to do it. So I just started doing it as a hobby for myself. And, a lot of people there would be like, oh, you should do my clients' nails. Like, they had celebrity clients. And I was like, that sounds really fun. But obviously I hadn't gone to school yet. I quit college. And
Wow.
I enrolled in nail school that Monday that I got home and got my nail license and then started taking on clients. So my first one was Carmen Electra and then Paris Hilton after that.
Wow.
And then I was with Ariana Grande for 4 years. We traveled the whole world together on tour for Dangerous Woman and all kinds of appearances, Jimmy Fallon show. And I mean, we went everywhere. And then, now it's Euphoria.
How did you know that you were really good at it, that you could, how did you perfect it? Like, tell me how the whole school system happened and how
Mm.
you made it, you know, to
Yeah.
where you are now.
To be fair, and I do say this a lot, like you need the essentials of nail school and really any type of training, any type of school for whatever trade it is that you're doing to learn the basics, right? And then after that is when you go into your mastery stuff, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
you go to nail school to learn about, bacterial things and safety stuff and how to, I mean, just your very basic beginnings, right? And then from there, the art stuff, the fun stuff, you kind of have to practice on your own, right? You could take
Okay.
private classes, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I think my biggest thing was just doing something nail centric every single day, right? So like I didn't necessarily have to paint nails every single day, but I would research trends. I would
Mm.
reach out to people that I knew that worked in my world. I would look up textile designs or wallpaper designs to base my
Mm.
ideas off of. And that's kind of how I guess, got better. My husband always says this, and I think it's such a good, like saying it's dare to suck. So like, dare to try new things. They might not always work out, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they really do. And I really like, for instance, I at night a lot of times when I'm watching TV or whatever, things like that, I draw designs in my notebook. I actually have my notebook right here. Where is she? I did. Okay. Oh, here. So I do this kind of stuff at night, and I pre-plan
Oh,
things
wow.
and
Yeah.
just to get an idea of like where my head's at. And sometimes when I see this visual, I'll know if it's gonna actually work or not.
You touch a little bit upon being a celebrity nail artist. Like, how was it creating red carpet looks, especially when you were saying you were with Ariana Grande, so you were doing so many different things. How did you how did you perfect those kind of artsy looks for them?
So a lot of it, of course, is like based on what they're wearing, right? So like for instance, I did Ariana for Met Gala in what was it, 2016, I think. We did the Sistine Chapel. She had the Sistine Chapel dress on from
Hmm.
who was her designer? I'm blanking on it right now. I don't even know why. But we did a Sistine Chapel based nail. So things of that nature, right? It's like always pulling
Hmm.
from their style at the time, their influences, certain colors that they like at that moment,
Okay, yeah.
obviously what they're
Hmm.
wearing, maybe their makeup, things like that.
So, how
Yeah.
did you get into Euphoria? How did that connection happen?
So I owned Nail Swag, which was a salon in downtown LA for 5 years. We closed during the pandemic, unfortunately, but happened to a lot of businesses. Right before COVID happened, Alexa had come in, and we actually had a session together, Alexa Demi,
Mm-hmm.
and I was talking to her, and I was like, I had just watched the show, and I was like, I really think that nail art would be really cool on the show. She was like, totally, I agree. Like Maddie would, of course, have nail art. And so she really plugged me into the producers, and we had that conversation. It really, like, she did me a huge solid by doing that. So that was sort of the initial intro. And then I met Donnie, of course. And then Sam was like, okay, I guess let's give it a shot. And of course, now seeing season 2, I think he really saw the impact that like nail art can have on visuals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just those little details, I think, really matter in a show like that, and really matter in a time like this. People are elevating their art, so.
What an interesting connection of how like she just came into your store and then like you were able to work on Euphoria. Like
It
how
was
great
so
is
crazy
that?
because I was thinking in my head, like, I really want to do this show. I really, really do,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
You
yeah,
kind of
that was,
manifested it.
I like to think so a little bit. I mean, it's like, it's a combination, right? Of like working hard to get to that point, and also having the luck, and also like things lining up. Right. So
Right.
it's been a really cool journey.
When you started creating lookbooks for each character, what is the process when it comes to that? Do you start with the script or do you um, think about the storyline or just the characters individually? How does that go into it?
It's honestly like, well, first of all, it's a very collaborative process. So it's, Heidi, the stylist, is sending over outfits. I have Donnie
Mhm.
kind of giving me the 411 as to what's happening with each character, like their
Mhm.
mood, their tone, is there darkness, is there happiness, you know what I mean? Things like that. And then a big part of it is also speaking with the actors. Like they really have a
Mhm.
lot of say and opinions on what's going to happen with their character. And that includes everything down to the nails. So, Alexa and Barbie in particular were really, really vocal and really involved in the nail process. And they would send
Mhm.
over inspirations and things like that. And then I would take those and I would kind of give it our own twist, right? I wanted it to feel like Maddie. I'm like, if I was Maddie, what would I wear? If I was
Mhm.
Kat, what would I wear? Right. So,
You're right.
you know, it's a combination of things. And I would usually make like 5 to 10 samples for them. I would send it out. They would tell me like, oh, I like this one, or like, oh, can we combine these two, and things like that. And then we would finalize the design. I would make them at home, and then I would drop them off on set.
And so when you do the 5 to 10 looks, is this per episode per each character or is this for the
Yes.
whole season? Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a lot of like knowing ahead of time what's going to happen, and prepping, and of course too, on shows things change too sometimes,
That is
last minute
true.
even. So sometimes we had to keep that in mind. I know that we made like a couple of like backup sets that were like very simple. Like there's some nude nails that Maddie has, we just in case, right? Just like, okay, we need to throw something in. I'm not necessarily there at that moment because I also do Demi Lovato, I do Halsey, I work on music videos a lot and
Hmm.
campaigns. So if there was like a last minute thing, sometimes I would be on set, and so we try to plan ahead as best we could.
I noticed in the first season, it was a little bit lighter. There was more colorful, makeup.
Mm,
And then in this season, you can tell there's like a drastic turn where it's more darker elements.
yes.
So was that intentional when it came to nails? And
Um,
like, and the direction, like, do you know what the direction might be for next season as well?
I wish I don't. I have no idea. I don't even know if really the writers do yet. I would
Right.
imagine. I mean, maybe they're just now starting. I don't know. I really don't have the tea on that. I wish that I did, but I don't. Um, I think with the nails, it was kind of more just about a gut feeling between, the team, right? We obviously knew like some of the circumstances that were happening. So like,
Hmm.
and I know with my regular clients, like when they're going through something, it does kind of come through in their nails, their appearance, what they choose to
Hmm.
wear, right? When you're in
Hmm.
like a really good place, I don't know. I mean, I find that I'm wearing bright colors and like, I don't know, I'm just a little bit more, I stand out a little bit more. And then if I'm feeling a little bit dull or sad or whatever, that might shift for me.
That is
Um,
true.
and so I think sometimes that happens with nail art too.
A little bit outside of Euphoria, there was a certain demographic that was expressed themselves through nails with the nail arts and stuff like that over the years. But in the last 5 to 10 years, you've noticed a shift of like it's becoming more mainstream.
Yeah.
How has that happened? I guess influence you as an artist, and have you noticed when you have clients come in that are not necessarily celebrities but also celebrities who are also tapping into the nail arts as well?
Yeah. I mean, I think it is obviously growing in popularity. I think because nail technology is so much better now. So it's a lot
Mm,
easier and faster to get a full set, right? Now with
mm-hmm.
Après Gel X, instead of doing, hard gel extensions that take an hour and a half just to do the extensions, now it takes
Right.
15 minutes. It's so much
Sweet.
faster and they're just as reliable. So now you get more time to do the fun stuff. And that encourages people to want to sit through that. You know what I mean?
Right, that's
It's
true.
a really dedicated person to sit for 3-4 hours to do a crazy set that's hand built and all that stuff. The influence of fashion right now is influencing the more intricacy of nail art, right? So like
Hmm.
I would say that because people always ask like, oh, when's the nail art going to die? I'm like, it's never going to die.
Yeah, never.
All that's going to happen is it's just going to ebb and it's going to flow. It's going to go from
Hmm.
simple and clean to crazy and colorful. And it's going to do
Right,
that continuously, just like fashion.
exactly.
I'm really have been super stoked to see what's been happening in nails over the last, year. It's been really cool. Like even in this last year, I've seen it go really like surreal, and it's like really bright, really colorful, no holding back, just really fun.
Yeah, there's like 3D stuff going
Yeah.
on and everything. It's so much.
Nobody, there's no rules anymore. You know what I
they,
mean?
they are
Like,
not, yeah, definitely not.
yeah.
What products do you use for this show? And I guess in general, what are your favorite tools and polishes that you use?
So I'm like pretty much just strictly a gel artist. I work with nail polish sometimes for like certain productions and campaigns, but for Euphoria, we really needed something durable because like they're going to be
Mm.
reusing these nails. One episode sometimes can shoot for a month, so like
Oh, wow.
they have to reuse those constantly. So I use Après Gel X for all of my extensions, press-ons. I use mostly Rika gel, which is a Japanese gel brand. I
Hmm.
love it. It's just it's like butter. It's so good for the nail artist. So it's a lot more pigmented. It's just easier to
Mm.
paint with. And then I find little things around town, 3D items, not necessarily even meant for nails. Sometimes, I've used real opals and I've used real pearl and
Really?
oh yeah, for Barbie's Met Gala look, we did real Baroque pearls that were like so cool. They looked great.
Wow.
Like big, chunky, but they were really awesome. Um and yeah, I mean, it kind of I'm all over the place. I have stuff I usually go to Japan twice a year and buy in bulk like my stuff for the
Oh,
year,
wow.
and obviously I haven't been able to do that because of COVID, so I'm
Hmm.
hoping that soon I'll be able to go again and
So were
really
you like
go for it.
buying stuff online to
No,
compensate for that time period that you weren't able to go?
I mean, the good news is I've built up quite a collection over the years. So
Oh,
like
wow.
I have a ton of stuff that I had never even touched. And I was like, oh, I should
Mm.
start playing with that. And then I was like, oh, this is actually really like on trend. It works for right now. So, but I am majorly overdue. I do buy stuff on like AliExpress sometimes or Amazon. I
Hmm.
look all over. I don't, there's no limitations for me. Downtown LA is a good place
Yeah, I
sometimes.
bet there's tons of stuff there
Oh
that you can
yeah.
get.
Yeah, totally.
Is there a favorite nail art that you did this season?
I would say, I mean, Maddie's nails in general are just like the most extra, and so I just
Yeah.
love it. Yeah, probably Maddie's mod nails that we did, those green
Mm.
nails. I think were like the
Yeah.
most probably one of the more visually impacting nails, I think. Um, and also those cage nails. I mean, it was just a dramatic scene. I love making patterns. So that's like
Mm.
where I think I do best in nails is pattern making. So I really just, those nails just are very me as an artist.
You know what, Euphoria with fashion, beauty, and nails, like that clearly is influencing culture as in a whole. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think will be like the most looks that we will be seeing all over the place when it comes to nails? Like,
What do you
are there
mean?
going to
Like,
be like colors
oh,
that we might be seeing, or even just nail trends of like nail art? Sorry, I didn't say that better
no, you're
before.
good. You're good. I mean, I guess I could say like, I mean, right now I've been seeing like a lot of like 3D-esque nails, not just like with items, but like creating shapes
Yeah.
in the gel. We're seeing a lot of that. A lot of those Euphoria nails, I'm getting tags every day. I'm like, I'm so amazed because it's just really flattering, you know, it's really cool to see. There's definitely going to be no holding back on color. Lots of green this season, tons of
Yes, that's what I've been noticing. Lots of green nails
my
lately.
explore page is all green nails, and I was kind of
Mhm.
hoping for that because green is not a typical color that like trends in nails. I don't know why people tend to steer away from it, but I love it. I think it's so nice on the hand, especially like a Kelly green or an emerald green. I love
Mm.
that. So I'm
Yeah,
seeing
I
a lot
don't
of
think I've
that.
ever done a green nail. And now that you say
Kind of
that, now I
fun.
need to.
Yeah, like a neon green. Oh, so
Mhm.
good. I love. Yeah.
For nail techs that might be watching and interested in going into doing great, colorful, artsy stuff, what
Yeah.
do you recommend for great outlets for them to learn more about the field?
Well, I mean, there's definitely some like, I know there's like some masterclass type things online. I've personally never done education. I would like to. I don't have that program out yet, but it's something that I've considered.
Mm.
Um, I know that a lot of other nail artists teach amazing classes though, online or in person. I think it's just always good to, you know, too, just meeting other nail artists, I think is really important. Talking nail shop, you know, conversing about technique. I think a
Mm.
lot of times, like in our industry, people can be feel like so competitive. And I really don't think that we need to. I actually think we should congregate together and have these conversations and get to know each other because honestly, it just makes you better as an artist, I think personally. There was actually this really interesting conversation on a post I saw recently about how nail artists, you know, have this issue with other nail artists doing or copying a nail design and then like, you know, not feeling like they got the credit. The
Mm.
reality is like, to me, I'm like, you know, of course it can be frustrating if you feel like somebody's making money off of your design, but at the end of the day, like that person thought you were important enough to mimic something that you made. You know what I mean? It's inspiration. You inspire them. And I think that's like really flattering and really cool. And I think a lot of people do that because they're just trying to learn, you know, they like your
Mm.
style. They want to learn like how you do things and they have to try it in order to learn, you know what I mean? So
And then you also have like Pinterest where, customers are looking through those and picking that out and saying like, oh, I want this
that's
look and stuff like
that's the
that.
other thing. What are you going to do? Say no to a client? No, that's not going to
Right.
happen. I mean, whenever I wanted to really avoid that, because sometimes I'm like, you know what? This design has come in now. It's been like the third, fourth time, right? I would like to shift it. I would say to them, like, oh, okay, so let's take this design, but let's add this element. So now it's like kind of your own thing, right? And a lot of times they'd
Hmm.
be like, oh, okay, I like that idea. And so you're doing something that is inspired by the design, but you're also putting your own twist on it, which I think is kind of more fun, you know?
Yeah,
So
I like
there's
that.
ways to move around that too.
And also customers will trust their nail tech if they're saying, let's go in a different direction with something like
For
this.
sure. For sure. Especially if you say with conviction, you know, you're
That
like,
is
no,
true.
trust me on this one. They're like, okay. And then they end up liking it. And I do think
Also,
like nail artists know what looks good. You know, they do. They've been doing this, you know, for some time and they've got the practice down. So like, yeah, enjoy the process. It should be fun.
definitely. Do you
Yeah.
think there will be a shift in film and television where they'll start incorporating nail art into their beauty department?
I think so. I actually am doing two other shows now.
Mm,
So I'm like very
clear.
not as drawn out as Euphoria, but I'm doing some nail art for some shows. So I think maybe it's possible. I think it's possible. I would like to see it. I mean, if it's a show that is in this modern time, it would make sense. Like, and like most people now are getting nail art. Like if they're
They
getting their
are.
nails done, they're painting their nails, they're probably getting nail art. It's odd that if people don't. And granted, here I am talking with a one color on. I have
Same here,
chrome,
but
but
I'm always
I have chrome, but yeah, but I do think a lot of people are just leaning in that route. It's like another way to customize your look, you know?
yeah, to show off your creativity in a way.
Yeah.
It's also a
Yeah.
fashion statement. I'm
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I feel like a lot of like directors, a lot of times feel like nail art can be distracting, but like it doesn't have to be crazy to be nail art either. You know what I mean? Like it can be really toned down and still visually impactful, but it doesn't have to be crazy, you know?
I mean, we saw it with Cassie's nails where they're like a nude color and then there's
Yeah.
rhinestones. Like that's, you
It's
know,
clean, it's simple, it's like a little flashy, but it's essentially just a one color with some diamonds thrown over it. You know what I mean? So it's
mhm.
you know, it's just a little extra something.
Many male celebrities are getting into the nail industry and starting to make their own nail polish. Like, how do you
Yeah.
feel about this new trend? And
I think it's cool. I've been waiting for this moment, to be honest. I mean, you know, like typically if a man in the past did their nails or painted their nails, it was usually like a chipped black, you know, kind of rocker vibe.
yeah,
But now we're seeing it almost be, I mean, be far more exploratory in color and in pattern and in design. And I think that's really cool. And I think that people shouldn't feel weird about that ever. I'm like, why would we? It's just another way to, you know, show off who you are. I always say that like nails are like sort of like similar to tattoos in the sense that they are a self-expressive form of art that you can wear. However, it's a lot more temporary, which I think makes it a lot better, you know, and a lot
that's
you
true.
can change it every two you if you're changing as a person, you know, why wouldn't your taste and style change, right? You know? Yeah.
Definitely. And then also like you have different trends that are coming in and out. So you could definitely try different ones in the next two
Yeah.
weeks if you do something different.
Yeah,
Um,
why not? It's
could
the fun
we
part.
possibly see like any of the male actors, you know, exploring the nail art world next season? I know you don't know next season yet, but could we have that?
I don't know. I'm like, are we gonna see Cal Jacobs wearing nail art?
I would
That'd be
love that.
That would be great. I mean, he's obviously studying his power. However, he's probably also going to prison. So I have no idea. Um,
Who
I mean,
knows? They
I
might be
would,
doing nail art in prison. We don't know.
yeah, who knows, right? It's true. I mean, I would love to see it. I obviously would be so down. You know, I don't know. It depends what Sam wants to do. I have no idea what's gonna. I have no clue what's gonna happen. I'm already chomping at the bit. I'm like, okay,
I know
I'm
it's only
ready
been
for
like
it
two
though.
weeks, but we're all like ready for the next
Yeah,
season already. But
we'll see whenever the time comes. Hopefully, yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know. So
and you kind of touched upon this a little bit, but what are you doing next that we can know about?
well, I have a Manny Me collection out that just was released like a week ago. And
So what should we expect from you next?
so I have a Manny Me a Manny Me collection that's out right now. I just released it about a week ago, and it's a full cover gel sticker. So it's a really
Mm.
easy application, like instant manicure. Two of the designs are from Euphoria. We have a Maddie inspired design, and we have a Cassie inspired design. Just a fun thing for an easy way for people to get, you know, an instant Euphoria inspired manicure. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry, there is one more thing. I'm currently just beginning to start the process of putting together some stuff to hopefully I'm pitching a nail art exhibition at
mm.
some museums to see what happens. I would really like to do like a large scale legitimate nail art exhibition to showcase nail art, like, and just the different nail artists from all over the world, and run over nail history, and there's so much to it. So tiny art, I think, is so incredible. It's very challenging to do. And some of these people, I'm like, oh my God, they're just incredible. They're so good. And I think not only would, females be interested in that, I think everybody would. I don't think that it should be pinpointed to just like a specific group, right? I think that it is an people are just interested in general. I notice like a lot of straight men are like, oh my God, this is amazing. Oh, I had no idea you could do this. I'm like, well, yeah, this is, it's a fun art form. So yeah, I really, really want to do that. It'll be a while if it happens. I don't know, but I'm putting it out into the universe. I'm like, this is what I want to do next. Yeah. I just feel like I've had a really like nice long run with my career, and I'm not saying that I'm stopping, but I want to do something unique with my knowledge and my craft, so
Yeah, that would be really awesome. And tell the Tease where we can find you.
Sorry?
Tell the Tease where we can find you.
Oh, so I'm on Instagram. I'm Natalie Minerva Nails. I'm on Twitter under Natalie Minerva. And then I'm on TikTok also under Natalie Minerva Nails. So you can find me on all of that. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Natalie, for speaking with us. It's been so great to learn a little bit more about you and your whole career. It's just been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.